Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another stale movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about Frankenstein versus the Mummy. This video comes to us via suggestion from Mason Powell. He messaged me over on my Nightmare Maven page, which the link to that is always in the description box. He suggested the movie, so I put it on my watch list, and now we're talking about it. So thank you, Mason, for the suggestion. Keep them coming, guys. But really quick, before we get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description box. In New York, the professor of a medical university, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, is buying body parts from the janitor Carter to build a corpse and reanimate it. An Egyptologist, Naila Khalil, from the same university, has just returned from an expedition and brought the mummy of Usakhara, an evil and cruel pharaoh that was cursed, leaving his soul trapped in his mummified corpse. Meanwhile, Professor Walton, who is chief of the department where Naila works, accidentally releases Usakhara's soul and is possessed by him. He kills his assistant Isaac, and his blood wakes the mummy. Frankenstein's monster is also reanimated, and Victor is surprised with his capacity to understand what is happening to him. But soon both monsters want Naila, Frankenstein's creature, to force Victor to transfer his brain to a new body, and the mummy, who believes she is the sorcerer that trapped his soul and wants Naila to call off the spell. I was really worried with kind of the two storylines going on that there wasn't really gonna, it wasn't really gonna make sense that the two monsters should meet, but I thought the movie was written in a really competent and clever way that, you know, obviously the stories start off separate. We have Dr. Frankenstein trying to reanimate a corpse, then we have Naila, you know, with the mummy and everything. They start off as separate stories, but I think it was very cleverly woven together to where the stories just slowly get closer and closer together until they become intertwined, and you know, they create a very logical way for the monsters to meet and fight, which I thought was really good. I was worried that it was just going to be super silly. It's like, here are these two monsters, now fight, and it wasn't gonna make any sense. I also thought the makeup and gore effects were pretty good. I really liked the way the mummy looked. I thought he was the best, to be honest. There's lots of information and buildup in the first two acts, which I thought was really well done. Again, could have easily been something that they just like glossed over and, you know, just got right to the fight, but I'm glad that they really took the time to build up each of these stories. I thought it was really well done. Now onto the dislikes. This is kind of nitpicky, but some of the minor characters stood out in a bad way. It was, I mean, I feel like the acting was a little bit rough all around, but like I said, some of those minor characters just, again, there is I feel like this has kind of become like a cliche thing here with like the super attractive main characters. Like, yeah, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit for these two like 20 something looking people who are like accomplished professors at this university, and just like and yet they act like high schoolers, like in love, like having a crush on each other and stuff. Like, it's just like little things like that that don't make a whole lot of sense. I feel like the love story kind of component of the movie between Naila and Dr. Frankenstein was a little bit shallow, and I think they could have just, I mean, they needed some sort of relationship with each other to kind of, you know, to bring the mummy and Frankenstein's monster closer together so they could fight. Like the title would suggest. But I don't know, I just feel like the love story could have been done a little bit differently, maybe just like dialed back a little bit, like cut some of that. No, I feel like the love story was a little bit, I didn't need it so much. They could have just been friends, you know, they could have just been friends. I'm sorry, but the sex scene was not that great, so they could have just been friends. It's possible. And I will just say, just a warning, this is a little bit spoilery. The movie only came out in 2015, so it's not that old. So I figure I'll give a fair warning. I will say I was a little bit disappointed in the fight between Frankenstein and the mummy. I feel like the title was a little bit misleading. You know, that versus in there just really makes you feel like it's gonna be just an all-out brawl. between those two, or there's gonna be, you know, we're leading up to this big fight scene. And I feel like the fight was a little bit underwhelming. Just a little bit. For all the really good buildup, like so much good information leading up to it, and the, like how I mentioned, the story's just like slowly coming together closer and closer until the two finally clash. I feel like the buildup was just so good that, you know, the fight just let me down a little bit. It really just looked like, besides the final kill at the end of the battle, and I won't say who wins the fight, I won't spoil that much, but besides the final kill at the end of the fight, it just looked like two guys punching each other. Which technically speaking, it was just two guys punching each other. But, you know, when you have these two like supernatural beings, you have two reanimated corpses, like that's not something you see every day. You want like an epic battle, and it just seemed like something you could see anywhere. You know what I mean? So, was Frankenstein vs. the Mummy worth watching? Maybe not really. I think you probably would have seen in like the little info bar about the movie, this was directed by and written by, I think, Damien Leone, who wrote and directed Terrifier, which I loved, which I think maybe kind of had an effect on how I saw this movie. I think because I saw Terrifier before I saw this, like I just thought Terrifier was so good. Like this was no Terrifier, I'll just say that. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 3.8 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't have a critic score. Audiences give it an 11%, and there's nothing on Roger Ebert. I was able to watch this on Amazon, so I'll leave an affiliate link in the description should you want to watch it. There's no pressure to use that link, but if you do, it does help out the channel a little bit. Oh, if you've seen Frankenstein vs. the Mummy, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!